So, hello there everyone and welcome, it is Aniran here, and today it is time for me to bring back something. It was a little bit like Marmite, if I'm being brutally honest, was these sorts of videos, but I'm experimenting. Excuse the pun, because I'm sure by now you guys will realise from the title, this is the first FIFA 18 experiment that I'm going to be doing, and of course based on the feedback we'll find out how many of these I end up doing. But as I said, I do want to experiment with content on the channel, so hey, I was just like, you know what, bun it, we're going to do this today. As you can tell from the title as well, this is an experiment seeing how the best under-21 team in FIFA 18 can do in a career mode season. Now, I'll show you the squad in a moment. It is a very, very good one, and I'm not entirely sure what the predictions are going to be. You guys will get a chance to, predict where you think we're going to finish down in the comment section once you, of course, have seen the team. But if you're going to enjoy this video, then make sure to slap a like on it and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It's that big red button underneath the video, so I would really appreciate it if you do enjoy and you are new around here to do that. So here is the squad that we're going to be using in this experiment, and as you can see, it is a very, very talented one indeed. All these players are going to be superstars at some point, but obviously the game, they're not quite reached their potential at this point. Growth is going to be a massive factor in this experiment, so obviously these guys growing in overall by the end of the season, they're probably going to have a better second half of the season, than they do at first half of the season. But enough of that, enough of the tactical stuff. Gianluigi Donnarumma, of course, of Milan, is in goal, the best under-21 goalkeeper in the game, and I think he's got like 93 potential as well, something stupid. At left back, we've got Aaron Martin. Fullbacks is something that this team actually struggles on. There's not many fullbacks in the game who are young and anywhere near 80, and there certainly aren't under-21 players of that calibre. Jonathan Tah and Davinson Sanchez are the centre-backs, with Yuri Tielemans of Monaco at central mid. Lamar and Ousmane Dembele, the two Frenchmen, are the wingers in this side of Monaco and Dortmund respectively. The attacking mids, because they're the best two players in the squad, so that's why we're playing two of them, Dele Alli and Marco Asensio, with the wonder boy himself, Kylian Mbappe Lotin of PSG, up top. There's a lot of players as well in the bench and reserves. You can see these guys here: Andre Onana, Andreas Christensen, Benjamin Henriks, Leroy Sané doesn't even make it into the starting 11. Neither does Timo Werner or Anthony Martial, and we've also got Dahoud here on the bench. And even in the reserves, there's so many good players with high potentials. We've got Lafont, Theo Hernandez, Jorge Mere, Lemos, Tuzar, Kozielo, of course, Ceballos and Diawara, and then some of the wingers and strikers here too: Pulisic, Oyarzabal, Kingsley Coman, Julian Brandt, Kasper Dolberg, Marcus Rashford and Gabby Jesus are only in the reserves. That just shows how good the actual side is. And then we've got Malcolm, Andre Silva and Patrick Schick as well. So obviously for those that are really paying attention, you'll have noticed that we're using Crystal Palace for this career mode save. There's no real reason apart from that it seems to be tradition to use the team that's bottom of the EPL table once this is being recorded, and I think at the point of recording, Crystal Palace are bottom of the table. Realistically, having looked at that side, I think challenging for Europe is definitely a possibility, and depending on how lucky we get, we could even challenge for the title. But I want you guys to leave your suggestions for where this best under-21s team can finish at the end of a Premier League season. Leave those down in the comment section below, and we'll see who is right, and maybe leave your suggestions for who's going to be top scorer in the team. Whatever you want to predict, then drop it in the comment section. For the moment, we are going to sim, I think, now to the halfway point of the season. We'll take a look at how things are going, and then we'll get to the end of it, because I'm not entirely sure there's too much more for me to go over. Yeah, it's simply a simming experiment. We're not allowed to sign any players in January or strengthen our side. What we have at the start is what we finish with, but obviously the team can grow because of the nature of this experiment. So January is upon us, and we are not halfway through the season. We're actually 22 games in, and that's because I can't do maths. Supposedly, we were meant to stop at the 19th game, but here I am after 22 games. It's not my fault there's more games before January than after, but anyway, that's not the point. You can see the Premier League table in the background and how it is unravelling in the first half and an extra bit of the season. Manchester United are top, and they're top by a distance as well, at 6 points clear and only 2 defeats across the entire season, ahead of their City rivals, well, Manchester City, then Chelsea and Spurs round out the top 4. Arsenal find themselves in P5, and then it is us, the team we're focusing on, Crystal Palace, that team of under-21s, down in 6th, on 36 points. They're not 36, that would be horrendous, out of 20 teams in a league. To be quite honest with you, they're further away from the top than I expected them to be, because we've now got players in this side that are 85 overall, being Asensio and Ali, and there's a couple of other very, very good players in this side. But then ask yourself the question, are they as good as Arsenal? Maybe not. Arsenal still have like the likes of Ozil and Alexis Sanchez, who are closer to 90 than they are to 85. So maybe they are exactly where you'd expect them to be. But currently they're 2 points clear of Leicester in 7th, and it's Everton, Burnley and Watford. And as well as that, Liverpool are currently sat in 13th, which is an awful first half of the season for them. But we're now going to forget about the halfway stage of the season. It's irrelevant. It's what happens at the end that really matters. So we're now going to sim to the end of the season and see how this team of under-21s manages in the last 16 games of this Premier League season. The end of the season has arrived. Let's take a little look then at the results of this experiment. So here is how things finished then for our under-21s team in the Premier League. And as predicted, it was a much better second half of the season than the first, purely because the team improved in overall as the season continued. You can see that Manchester United continued to hold on to their lead in the Championship and then won the title ahead of City and Chelsea, but Crystal Palace, the team of under-21s, taking that final Champions League spot. If we were going to continue this as an actual career mode save, they would have to go through a qualification round and then they would be in the Champions League, which is pretty astonishing for such a young side, one that's average age is probably closer to 19 and even 21. Spurs finished in 5th with Arsenal in 6th, and the two Merseyside clubs, Everton though beating Liverpool, who did recover to 8th, but a pretty shocking first half of the season ended their hopes of getting into Europe, and then Leicester and Stoke rounding out the top 10. Promoted sides, Brighton and Newcastle avoided relegation, but Huddersfield went down in plumb last on only 15 points, along with Southampton and Bournemouth. But enough about the other teams. Crystal Palace then, the under-21 side, finishing with a goal difference of plus 27, which is far superior to what it was in January. I believe it was only plus 6 back then. 21 wins across the season, 8 draws and 9 losses by the team of just under 21 players. So if you got it right, if you said Crystal Palace would finish in 4th place, then props to you. I'm afraid I don't have a prize. I might send you a cookie in the post or something. I'm not entirely sure. Don't leave your addresses in the comment section. That was literally a joke. I can't begin to imagine the trouble I could get into. Anyway, enough of that. It's time to look at the statistics, and as you can see, Romelu Lukaku was the top scorer in the league. Willian as well, also breaking the 20 goal barrier. Then Coutinho getting 15, Aguero, Sigurdsson, Insigne, who signed for Manchester United, and then Ousmane Dembele is the top scorer for Palace. If you predicted that right as well, then congratulations, because I wouldn't have predicted that myself. I would have said either Mbappe or maybe Dele Alli or someone like that, but Ousmane Dembele gets the most amount of goals for us. You can see the rest of the guys in the top 25 here. Are there any other Palace players at all? No, not any at all in the top 25, apart from Ousmane Dembele. So he by far got the most amount of goals across the season with 14. Looking at assists now, and we haven't got anyone in the top 15, so the statistics seem to be giving off a completely different vibe to what the table is suggesting. Obviously we finished 4th in the league, but we've barely got anyone in the top 25 of any of the lists. In fact, seemingly, we haven't got anyone in the top 25 of the assists list at all, which I find incredible. It must have been spread out massively amongst the squad. However, we do have someone in a pretty prominent position on the clean sheets list. Gianluigi Donnarumma gets 11. That was only 2 away from the guy who got the Golden Glove, or the 2 people that in fact shared the Golden Glove, being Thibaut Courtois and David De Gea. Maybe they made a Golden Glove for each hand. One of them wears it on the left, one of them wears it on the right. I'm not entirely sure how that works. However, Gianluigi Donnarumma is the man that we focus on. He gets 11 clean sheets across the season, and also on top of that, Alban Lafont, although he's the 3rd best goalkeeper in terms of overall, worse than Andre Onana, he got himself in the top 25 as well by getting 3 clean sheets to his name. So here is how the squad ended up, and as you can see, a lot of players have improved quite drastically from where we saw them at the start of the season. Mbappe only up by 1, but Ali and Asensio up by 2. Dembele up by 3, Lamar also up by 2 over here on the left-hand side. Donnarumma is already 85. He went up by +3 in this season as well, and a very strong centre-back partnership still. Even on the bench, the likes of Christensen, Onana, Martial going up by 2, same for Werner and Sane, Dahoud going up by 3, so Jesus and Rashford also up to 83 and 81 respectively. So a very, very strong side at the end of this first season. It would be interesting to see how they then did in a second season, whether they would actually challenge for the title potentially. Just a couple more things then that I want to show you, and that is the assists, because this was something that really bamboozled me, quite frankly, as to how we had so little players in the top 25. But Ousmane Dembele and Dele Alli got the most in the side, getting 5 apiece. They also got 15 goals and 3 respectively. respectively. Oyarzabal got 3 assists in only 7 games. Mbappe, Malcolm, Thomas Lemar and Julian Brandt, interestingly, also getting 3 assists. Then Andre Silva and Yuri Tielemans with 2. Henriks, Mere, Christensen, Lemos, Pulisic, Asensio all getting 1 as well. Finally though, here is your team of the competition, and I'll spare you the expense of reading it. There's no Crystal Palace players in there at all. So despite our under-21s finishing 4th in the EPL table, nobody features whatsoever in the team of the competition, and Hugo Lloris and Eric Dyer do, despite their team finishing behind us in the league. Same for Michael Keane, though I assume those guys must have just been very exceptional across the season. But regardless of that, that is basically the end for this FIFA 18 career mode experiment, and the team of under-21s, well, they can get into the Champions League all by themselves in the first season of a career mode is what we have proved, although they obviously have a better second half of the season than the first. If you've enjoyed this video though, make sure to slap a like on it and subscribe, of course, if you are new to the channel. You can also leave suggestions for other experiment videos you would like to see down in the comment section as well. You can also now follow me on Twitter. My handle is on the screen. It is @theofficialfng, and links to that are in the description. And as well as that, my Instagram is exactly the same handle. It is @theofficialfng, and once again, links to that are down below as well. But it has been an absolute pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
Yo, Massappeals.
I roll out with some monsters. Looks like your team and you watchers. I do not roll with imposters. Sound like the man in the Oscars. I'm drunk off Henny and Fosters. I have a career, I am jobless. This bitch f me so hard, I might just end up unconscious. I like girls in lingerie, especially if it is crotchless. Bitch, I am the bigger picture. There is no way you can crop us.